Where are you going without your flag? Let me know. Hi guys, today I want to share some tips with you for international students. I myself am an international student and some things really worked for me and some things didn't work at all, and I just want to share those tips with you. We're not sticking, let's jump right in. So this first step is concerning filing taxes. So as an international student, whether you worked in the US or you didn't work in the US, at the end of every year you have to file taxes. You may be inclined to use TurboTax because it's electronic, it's quick, it's fast, but TurboTax was designed for US citizens and it was not designed for non-resident aliens, which is what you'd be. And I learned that the hard way because I used TurboTax. There were some issues and now I have to sort it out, so I'm just trying to save you the pain. Don't use TurboTax. There are other softwares that can help you, but TurboTax is not the one. I didn't even want to listen to the advice my school gave me because I just wanted to take the quick and easy route, and sometimes it's not about taking the quick and easy route, it's about doing it. It's about doing it the right way. So yeah, don't use TurboTax. I just want to say that these are in no particular order. The next thing that I think is a really good idea is to have a folder with all of your documents. I chose to use a clear folder, and in it I have everything I think I may ever need. Your school might ask you for your immunization records before you move on to campus, and you might have to scan them. So I have my original records, like my health card from at home, in this folder. I have every single letter of acceptance or for my scholarship. I have everything printed in here. Also, when you're going to the airport for the first time, it's good to have your letter of acceptance with you. I have copies of my birth certificate, driver's license, national ID card, passport, F1 visa. I keep that in here just in case. Like, you never know if you would lose a document, if you would lose your ID card, and I feel like it's better to just have a copy just in case. I also had to open a bank account up there, so I have all the documents for the bank account that I opened in here. I had to send in my official certificates to get credits transferred, so I have my certificates with me. And I also had to apply for a social security number, so I have those because I worked on campus. Once you work, you have to get a social security number. I have those official documents in here. And then when I finished working, my school had to give me a W-2 form, like with your taxes and stuff. I have my form, I keep it in here also. So anytime I get documents along the way that are important, I put them in this folder so they're all in one place. The next tip, I have another case just like this, except it's a different color. And in that case, I have my passport, I have my I-20, I have my I-94. So when I travel, this is the case that I hold in my hand or I put in my bag. And I know once I take this out, everything is inside of it and it's easy for me to not lose track of my documents. This case is also big enough to fit your boarding pass. The next step, get your credits transferred. Go to the different offices on campus and inquire about getting your credits transferred, especially if you did CAPE. This is an exam that Caribbean students do. Ensure you get credits for all of your subjects you can. Not every university would have equivalent courses for all of your credits, but you can still try to get as many credits as possible transferred, so you can either reduce the time that you're spending at your university, or you can just free up your time so you can focus more on new things and not have to relearn things you know already. The next tip, if you're going to be studying in the United States, you're going to have an F1 visa, and that visa comes with a lot of restrictions. So this tip is to be mindful and to be knowledgeable and aware of all the restrictions that come with your F1 visa. So simple things like you're not allowed to work off campus, you can only work 20 hours a week, you can't go past 20 hours a week. Simple things like that you need to be aware of. There's a list of them and I recommend you go check them out. But it's very important to know all the things you can do and the things you can't do, so you don't have any problems during your stay. This next step, change your cell phone number. Some phone numbers are compatible in different countries all over the world. At first, I kept my Trinidad and Tobago number, and it was the most difficult and unsafe thing that I could have done because I was not allowed to make any calls while I was there. And I used to love to go off campus and explore, and when I think about the danger I could have been in if I was not able to call anybody, it kind of scares me. So if you have no choice but to change your phone number, please do. But right now what I'm doing is I have two phones, one for my Trinidad and Tobago number and one for my US number. I definitely recommend either switching your phone number completely or having two separate phone numbers, but don't have one phone number that you can't call from because that's going to be a safety issue. Tip number 6, if there is a fire drill, take your passport. I remember this happened to me. We had a fire drill maybe 3 or 4 times, and the first few times I didn't take my passport, and then my dad would tell me that I need to take my passport because that's like your most important thing. Like everything else could bring but your passport, because that's what you need to leave the country and get back into the country. So if there's a fire drill, have your passport in a place where you can just grab it and take it with you, just in case it might actually be a fire. Next tip, I suggest you set up a student bank account. You may not be using the US currency in the home country that you're from, so having a US account would be very beneficial and it will be easier for you. So I recommend getting a bank account in the States. Next step, research scholarship opportunities. They have so many different scholarships. There are some that are open to everyone, and then there's some that are just limited to international students. There are scholarships, and there are tons of scholarships that are out there that can help you. So don't hesitate to go looking for them because they're there. Next step, summer classes. For me, I'm taking summer classes right now, and I'm only taking 2 courses, and that is helping me so much because now that reduces an entire semester. So see if taking summer classes may help, and it may also be cheaper to take summer classes because you don't have to pay for housing and food, and you may be able to work from home. So I definitely recommend looking at the option of taking summer classes. Take advantage of your school's resources. Many schools have help that are already covered in your cost. So that might include academic resources, that might include mental health resources, or it might be like the gym facilities, things like that. Make sure to take advantage of the resources and make sure to know what your resources are. There are so many people that go to college and they don't know what comes with the money they're paying for. Know what you're paying for. Another tip, join a cultural organization, or not just any cultural organization. Find one that is very similar to the culture you're coming from. So for me, I joined Caribbean Student Association because I am from the Caribbean. So when I first got there, I wanted to find people that was similar to me, that came from a similar culture, that would have understood a piece of who I am before I even started to describe who I was. So they have different clubs and organizations at any college or university. They have multicultural organizations for Caribbean students, Latin American students. They have the Asian Student Associations. There are so many organizations that you definitely will be able to find an organization that is similar in culture to where you're coming from. Next tip, be grounded in whatever you believe in. Remember, you are leaving a place where everyone may have the same beliefs, and you're going into a new place with so many individuals with so many beliefs. You want to ensure that whatever you believe in, you hold it in your heart and you guard your heart. Now, I'm not saying to not be open about learning about new things, new experiences, new opinions. I'm just saying that it's very easy to sway or forget what you really truly believe in. So be mindful of that, and whatever belief system you have, whatever values you want to uphold, ensure that you have a clear understanding of those things before you move in and before you go to your university. Next, be aware of everything and don't be afraid to ask a question if you don't know. A good thing that I used was Google Maps. So before I even went to school, not even Google Maps, just like maps on my phone, like if you have an iPhone, or if not, you could just use Google Maps. On my phone, I would search my university and then look at all the things surrounding my university. So before I got there, I knew where Walmart was, but not exactly where it was. but I knew what things were in close proximity to my school. So if I ever needed resources like that, if I needed to go to the grocery, if I needed to do my nails, if I needed to go to the mall, I knew what was close to me before I even got there. Now you don't have to do that before you get there, but when you get there, you could also do that. You do it on your phone. You have a general understanding of all the things surrounding your university. Next step, learn to cook. Learn to cook, learn to cook, learn to cook. Especially if you're from the Caribbean, because I can only speak from experience. But going out and moving into a new place where the food may be different, it would be prepared different, it would look different, it might taste different. It is important to know how you can cook, what you know and what you like. So for me, my first few months were definitely hard. Now, I was not fortunate enough in my first year of university to have my own kitchen. I lived in a building where we didn't have your own kitchen, so I was not able to cook my own food. But next year, starting in August of 2020, I'll have my own kitchen. I would have the opportunity to cook my own food because I miss the Caribbean food. I miss my food from home, and now I'll be able to do that. So learn to cook before you have a kitchen so you can make what you want. This next step is kind of like a reminder. Don't forget, even though that you're a student at the university, you're always a tourist, and it may be your first time in the country that you're going to. It may not be, but don't forget to explore. Don't forget to have fun. Don't forget to take advantage of the opportunities that you may get to see different things or to go to different places. That is a big one. This is a big one if you're going to study in the US. I didn't know about this tool before I got there. It's called Rate My Professor. Just search it up on the internet, Rate My Professor. And you can find professors from different universities, and you get students' ratings of how they thought the class was, if you needed the textbook, what grades they got. You can also find out if it was assignment heavy, if it was lecture heavy, if attendance mattered, if participation mattered. Like, these are good things to go look at before you sign up for classes. Or maybe if you didn't get a chance to do this before you signed up, the next time you sign up for classes, you can know which professors were really loved and which professors were not so loved. I would also recommend getting a leadership position or a job, because later in life, when you finish university, you're going to have to juggle many different things in life, whether it be your family, your career, a side hustle, projects, like just things like that. So now is a good time to learn to manage all these different activities you're going to have in life. Getting a leadership position also gives you a lot of experience. You learn new skills, you get to grow, you get to push and challenge yourself. Now, if you don't think you can manage a leadership position or a job and your schoolwork, then I definitely wouldn't recommend it. If you're a very organized person and you want to challenge yourself, this is a good idea. And if you're not, you could also challenge yourself, but don't ever let your leadership position or your job take away from your schoolwork. Remember that your schoolwork always comes first. In my first semester, I had a job, I had a leadership position, and I had 2 leadership positions, and I also managed my schoolwork, and I was fine. If I can do it, I'm sure you can do it too. And in my second semester, I also had about the same amount of responsibilities, but I really learned a lot about time management and about planning your day. And this is something that as we grow in adulthood that we would need to know, you know? Dealing with homesickness. First things first, where are you going without your flag? Where are you going without your flag? Let me know. I definitely recommend getting a flag to hang up in your room. I'll insert a clip here of my room. I had my flag in my room, and a lot of people that are international students, they take their flags with them and they hang it up in their room. This is a good idea because it's like symbolic of where you came from. Like, every morning you wake up, you can look at it and see where you came from. Not that you would ever forget or lose your sense of self, but I just felt so much pride waking up in the morning and seeing my flag and remembering, like, yes, I have all these people at home supporting me. I may feel as though I am by myself now, but when I look at my flag, I know that everyone is just one phone call away. And then you can also sport your flag, because you might have International Education Week or activities like that where you just want to have pride for where you came from. So take your flag. In addition to your flag, I also recommend having t-shirts that maybe say your country's name, that have your flag on it, because when your country's Independence Day comes or things like that, you may feel a bit, and let me not speak for you, I felt a bit left out and I missed home a bit. So like on days like those where it was time to rep my country, I had my t-shirts, I had my sweatshirts where I could say like I'm proud of where I come from, or I am celebrating this day even though I'm miles away. You could also even get a necklace. A lot of islanders have their country on a necklace. I have one of Trinidad and Tobago. I'll also put a clip right here showing you my thing. There are lots of them on Amazon and different places where you can get like a necklace with your country on it. Like, you know, that's also a nice cute addition. Sometimes people see my chain and they're like, what is that? And then I could kind of educate them about where I came from, because chances are they don't know where it is. Get a luggage scale. Especially for these international students that I'm talking to, you would want to have a luggage scale, because if you are traveling back and forth, especially on airlines which count every 0.11 pound or kilogram of your suitcase, I recommend having a luggage scale so you can weigh your suitcase in your room before you leave, so that by the time you get to the airport you don't have to redistribute the weight of your suitcases because you already planned for it, you know. So I definitely recommend having a luggage scale. More tips for homesickness. Find ways to bring home with you. So whether it be pictures, as I said before, your flag, you may want to bring snacks from home with you. When I go to school in fall of 2020, I'm taking my curry powder, I'm taking my coconut milk, I'm taking my chocolate digestive, my Dixie, my Bigfoot. I don't know where that is fitting, honestly, because I came home with 50 pounds and all those things I came home with I want to take with me. So I have to figure it out, but you may want to take snacks from home. I would also recommend creating a playlist of songs from home. So this is my playlist here, and it has songs that remind me of home. They may not all be from artists from Trinidad and Tobago, but most of the songs are from the Caribbean, and it makes me feel like if I am at home. Some days you might have, I remember I had a few like down days, not sad but just down, and I could just plug in my headphones and hear Chronic singing to me, and it's like everything got better, you know. And my last step, research appropriate clothing. Now if you are going to a country that snows, you are going to know that, you know, you need to buy jackets and sweatpants and things like that. But don't be fooled. There are some places that you don't think will get cold and they actually get cold. Florida, I'm talking to you. So I go to school in Florida and I did not know that it was going to be 8 degrees at night in Florida. I would have never imagined it to be, probably because like, it's probably because I just didn't know. But that's why I'm telling you to look these things up, because when it gets cold, you don't want to be without your sweatshirt and your sweatpants and your socks. You need those things, you know. So be prepared. That was my last tip that I had for you. Thank you for watching. I hope these helped you, because these are things that really helped me. Also, if you're a past international student watching this and you have some tips, don't forget to drop it in the comments down below. Let's help our other international students. So thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, you want to see more, like and subscribe if you want to. No pressure. Bye.